comfortable with what he was doing. I mean, we had so funny because there was really no reason not to. I had all these kids playing musical instruments. He had converted my living room into a studio, into all instruments. There were 2 drum kits, one for the toddlers, one for him. There were, I think, 5 electric guitars and bass guitars set up. We had the piano, and we had the keyboard. And every time I'd come into the house, he would surprise me because he'd be playing something. Mm-hmm. And I felt, and he had just started to gig out. He was playing at Hot Topic, and he was starting to get like little tiny opportunities. And I felt like, gosh, this kid, he needs and he was a male, and even though I've raised sons and I have a lot of experience with boys, being an intuitive female, I felt like this guy needs another male role model to come alongside him. And someone that I knew and trusted was my brother-in-law, who was also a musician, and he had just organized a band, and he had really good sound, and he was a songwriter, played like 6 instruments, and artist and things like that. And so I thought, you know what, I need to be a little, but of course he was a little bit arrogant in his artistry, because here's Jesse's not anybody on his level, so I had to be a little manipulative. Mm-hmm. So
and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, people can be manipulative in great ways.
Well, I knew Jesse was very shy, mm-hmm. and John was not open-minded to meeting other musicians necessarily, because he was just so focused. Well, on Thanksgiving Day, it just so happened that I had come home early, and Jesse had actually come home early from his date or whatever he was, and I thought, oh, John's planning to practice tonight, and Isaiah, who's his best friend, is at John's house, so I lied. And I said, Jesse, I think Isaiah needs a ride, or he needs you to go over to the house. Can you go over there? And, oh, by the way, take your guitar with you. And he did. And he and Isaiah didn't come home until like 4 o'clock in the morning. Mm. And that was the beginning of John and Jesse starting to play. What happened was he had already had a bass player or another guitarist or vocalist, and when that gentleman stepped down, he needed someone, and Jesse was right there I suggested, Jesse, the guy that was over there that you liked his music, why don't you give him a try? And he was in a point where he needed it, and so it ended up working out, and then the 2 of them together just really had an amazing synergy to bring Jesse to the mentorship that he needed, and also bring Making Faces to where John was looking for it to go.
Nice. See, there's all kinds of great little stories in here. This is good stuff. This is really good stuff. Well, it just shows that Jesse was, when you're looking for opportunity, when you're being true to yourself, opportunities will open. Sure.
And if you are someone who's, be the best person that you can be, you're going to meet people along your path that will be there for you in some way, shape, or form.
A great message here, though. A lot of people, they get caught in this rut. Well, I don't get opportunity. Opportunity never comes my way. But the key is to be ready for that opportunity when it does come, because it does. It always does. Mm-hmm. But you have to be ready, and Jesse was ready at that time.
He always, at the time he was working at McDonald's, mm-hmm. and he had terrible hours. Terrible. They would change his schedule, and he had no money, and he had a junky car. Oh my gosh, I mean, he was even lucky to get that car. And when he first came to stay with me, he didn't even have a bed. He had nothing, and that he still woke up every day and practiced his instruments. He still woke up every day trying to find his optimism. When I had to have have conversations with him, because there were times when we needed to have talks. Mm-hmm. He was always open and receptive to suggestions. He never turned off a suggestion. Even if he didn't agree with it, he would still listen to it. He was always agreeable. So those things are what created someone who had that mind that was open and ready to hear the advice of others and open those doors. And when they were open, he was ready for it. That was part of his readiness, was getting his mind ready for it.
Okay. Now, I've got a sort of an off-the-wall question, and I ask this to everybody that's on the show. And I will give you the opportunity to opt out on this one if you want to. All right.
Let's
now,
hear it.
I'm sure that a lot of the female listeners are going to be wondering, does Jesse have a girlfriend? Or is there a romantic interest somewhere? Or what's going on?
Chris, I'm currently single at the moment.
Oh, now, are you single and happy, or are you single and looking? Are you on the hunt or the prowl?
No, right now I'd say my only relationship is with music, and I'm completely focused on that. But I'm always interested in meeting beautiful girls.
Do they, when you're doing gigs and stuff, do they just throw themselves? Oh, Jesse, we love you. Or are they like that?
I'd say sometimes, but there's a dork in me that kind of also detracts women. Just a little bit, but I think the music makes me cooler.
Sure.
Just a little bit.
So you're like Superman. When you're not playing, you're Clark Kent, but when you're on the stage, you're Superman.
Exactly. Exactly.
This is true.
Now, Aria, what about you? I mean, do you have time for dates and stuff? Or are you in a relationship?
Oh gosh, I'm not going to answer this question.
Well, you don't have to. You don't have to. I made that clear at the beginning because I don't want to put you in an uncomfortable situation.
This is all about Jesse.
Okay. Right. See, I get the hard questions out. Okay, so the next song that we're going to play, and I guess this will answer your question, which one I had for last. And I think you already know, which one is the last one?
I think the last one's Heroes.
It is. It is Heroes. Because, yeah, and it's just my favorite. I mean, I can hear that song already on the radio. I can.
It's a really good song for radio.
Absolutely. So, but that brings us to the next song. It's called Take Me Home. So what is this song about? Where did it come from?
I wrote Take Me Home on New Year's Eve of this year, actually. New Year's Eve. A lot of my core friends moved away, and we kind of just lost contact. And you know, it was like my core. My friends were like my core back then because you know I've gone through family issues, and I kind of stuck to my friends. This group of friends I had, and we all kind of broke contact, and I was in a really upset mood because we were supposed to all hang out for New Year's, and it never happened because this and that, and I was like, you know, and I kind of spent New Year's alone, to tell you the truth. So this song just came out of me at that time, and you know, I wanted to. Although it's a dark subject, I also wanted to bring some positivity to the song, kind of like you know, take me home. I want to find my home again, you know, because where I was at, all my friends moved away, and I was kind of, you know, alone there in West Palm Beach.
Sure. Okay, so I guess home is where, and I know this is a cliche, but home is where the heart is, right?
Correct. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Take Me Home, Jesse Lopez on the Chris Stop program.
Place I can feel something. My old friend. Inside my head, that's where he's always been. But I will brave the storms that rage inside me. Cover up the scars they don't see. Everything has changed, and so must I. Friends are gone and they've moved on now. Thinking about leaving this town makes me feel alive and puts hope in these eyes. Take me home, wherever that may be, somewhere across the galaxy. Take me home, wherever that may be, somewhere across the other side of me, the other side of me, of me. Days and nights blend. These songs at times are my only friends. But this is not the end. I still have many years inside this skin, but I will breathe the storms that rage inside me, cover up the scars they don't see. Everything has changed, and so must I. Friends are gone and they've moved on now. Thinking about leaving this town makes me feel alive and puts hope in this smile. Take me home, wherever that may be, somewhere across the galaxy. Take me home, wherever that may be, somewhere across the other side of me, the other side of me, of me. Well, I don't wanna be alone, and I don't wanna be no one, so I'll take it slow and find my own. Take me home, wherever that may be, or somewhere across the galaxy. Take me home, wherever that may be, or somewhere across the other side. Take me home, wherever that may be, somewhere across the galaxy. Take me home, wherever that may be, somewhere across the other side of me, the other side of me, of me. Take me home.
All right.
You, my friends, are absolutely positively in the right place. This is the Chris Top program. I'm so excited because it's nice when I'm surrounded by fellow dorks and just having a great time. Now, the question, the golden question, and I ask this of everybody on the show, and you are listening on iHeart or Stitcher, feel free to post what superhero power you would like to have, and I'll share that with the dorks of the world as well. And if you're in the chat, if you want to post what power you would like to have as well, we'll talk about that too. Which brings me to I'm gonna start with Aria first, I think.
Oh boy.
So Aria, if you could have any superhero power, any at all, what would it be?
Delete.
Delete? What does that even mean?
Delete. Well, to delete, like a computer, like delete.
That's an interesting power. So many people, like when you screw something up, you just go back and delete it?
Yep.
That would be amazing.
I know, wouldn't it?
You could still learn from your mistakes and then never make them.
Absolutely.
Well, I've never thought about that.
I can't imagine that there wouldn't be some sort of like trash can somewhere in the universe that all of it went to. So if I needed to.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Even if I had the superpower delete and I deleted something and I decided I didn't want to delete it, I could delete that moment too and then go back. I'd just be 2 deletes from being where I was before.
I would love to see that movie. That's original.
Thank you very much.
Is that something you've often thought about, or did you just think about it when I asked the question?
Oh no! Like about 4 years ago, I was watching. I was reading Joseph Campbell, who is the basis of a lot of the Star Wars stuff, and I thought, man, if I was a hero with 1,000 faces, what would be like the hero power that I'd want? Like, what would make me like epic? Mm-hmm. And then I thought, delete.
That would be amazing.
Like, delete.
I've often thought about having a remote, like a remote I could use on people, like pause and fast forward and mute. Mute would be great.
Click.
Mute would be great, but they're still moving. I just wanted to delete them.
Well, I thought about it. It had to do with my ex-wife. And
Actually, that's what made me think about delete was my ex. I thought to myself, you know what? If I could just delete him.
Just be done with it.
Let's be done with this. Delete.
That would be great.
That's a good power.
Yeah.
It is.
Like
It
that
really is.
the drunken text message you sent last night. Delete.
Yeah, but you know what? If I had that superpower that you're talking about, like the remote control, I'd probably be tempted to torture people.
Oh, you mess with them,
Fast
right?
forward. As they're screaming, mute.
Right.
Sorry, that's my mean side shine. Oops.